Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, we are going to be doing part 3, and hopefully the final part, we'll see how today goes, of our page that we're doing in Colormorphia by Kerby Rosanes. We are working on the Pharaoh page, and this is what it looks like so far. I am really enjoying doing this with all of you, and I hope that you're enjoying watching it. So, let's see, what did I leave off on last time? I think that we had a little bit of homework to finish the flowers, I believe, and that's really the only thing I did. So I went through and used the same colors from the greens that we used on the rushes down here, or cattails, or whatever those are called. I keep calling them rushes. I don't know if that's correct. But yeah, I used the same green combo for all of the stems over here. I used my red marker and then a little bit of the Tuscan red colored pencil over top of it. Not very much at all, just where the lines were on the flower. I did add in, so on our little fish down here that we colored, he was looking a little too purple for my liking. So I added in some Scarlet Lake, which is PC 923. And I just went lightly over the top of it, and that changed the tone of that red just a little bit. So I have stuff pulled today to do the, we're going to do the cat and the dog here. And they're both going to be in shades of black. And then, of course, you know, the collar and the line above the dog's eyes will be different. But so to do that, I'm attempting, I have not tested this out yet, so we'll see how this goes. I've got 4 different grays and a black, or 3 different grays and a black. So for the colors that I have today on those, I've got black, which is PC 935, 90% French gray, which is PC 1076, 70% French gray, which is PC 1074, and 70% warm gray, which is PC 1056. I did throw in that warm gray just to change the tone just a tiny bit, because these French grays are pretty brown, and I do want this to be more of a black dog, not so much brown. So I'm going to zoom you in on the dog here, and we'll get started. All right, I'm going to start with my 70% French gray. I'm just going to do kind of a light layer over the whole pup. I'm going to avoid that little line above his eye the best that I can. Now this is a little bit backwards from how I was coloring the other images on the page, because normally I would start with the darker areas. I just want to see how this is going to look before I completely commit. And I definitely don't want this French gray color to be like the main focus. So it's just going to be an undertone, if that makes any sense. Also, my throat is feeling a little iffy, so I might not be talking as much in between like the coloring today. There might just be a little bit more coloring and then a little bit less of me talking. So I'm going to go with my next quote-unquote darkest color, which is the 70% warm gray. And I am going to start focusing that on the darker areas and kind of come out from there. Maybe I'll add in some of that lovely Egyptian music, and you guys can listen to some of that lightly while I'm coloring. That way it's not just silence while I'm not able to talk quite as much. I was coloring the other images before, it was more of a, like a quick and fast kind of thing, and I'm going to take my time just a little bit with this dog. So he's got some good highlights and shadows. The black is always a little tricky to get the shading quite right. Or maybe that's just me. It could just be me. All right, now we're going to switch to 90% French gray, and I'm going to start in the shadows again and go out from there. Do black. With the black, I'm really just going over where the lines were that Kerby had put down already. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in with my lightest, which is that 70% French gray, and I'm going to start in my dark and blend outward. All right, what do we think of that? I might add in some more of the French gray just to darken some of that back up. I do want that ribbon to cast a shadow, so we're gonna draw under that a little bit, and then down here. And then we also need to put in the shadows that are created from the things that are overlapping him. On other parts of the page, I didn't put in too many shadows because I wasn't overly worried about that, but there are a few spots where it's a little needed. So I did put a little bit underneath the snake right here, and then underneath his tongue because it was kind of a pinkish on a red, so kind of makes it stand out just a little bit. All right, I think I like the dog. I'm gonna give him a black nose. And I'm going to use my gold gel pen that I was using before to outline the lines on his face and fill in his eye. Oh, that is the other thing I did with my gold gel pen is I filled in the eyes on all the little creatures, and I added my gold tooth to my skull. Okay. All right, there is our Egyptian dog. I am going to do the cat next, pretty similarly. I have to move some stuff out of the way because I'm so zoomed in. I have to adjust everything. Okay, so I think for the cat, I want to do less French gray and more of the warm grays, I believe. Maybe some cool gray in there too. All right, so we've got black, PC 935, 90% cool gray, PC 1067, 70% warm gray, PC 1056, 70% cool gray, PC 1065, and 50% warm gray, PC 1054. So I'm going to start with that 50% warm gray. And again, I'm going to do a light layer like I did on the dog. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the 70%, right? No, I lied. I'm going to go in with the 70% warm gray first. On the cat. Okay, now we're going to do the 70% cool gray. I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I'm just going to go over the lines that I just put in with that other gray. %90 cool gray. My poor pencil. Look how it's still working, but yeah, it's all cracked and crazy. All right, last shade color, which is black. I'm starting to get a little bit of shine from my Prismas, all that wax. I want to make it a little bit darker, so I am going to add that 70% cool gray. All right, one more time with my French, or my warm gray. I'm liking how okay, I like that. I am going to take my black and go right over the black from the cat. I'm going to extend it in the corners just a little bit. And then for the eye on this one, I think I do want to make that red. So I'm going to take, what color do I want? Nope, I want the, trying to find my Tuscan red. Here we go. I'm going to take this Tuscan red color and just color right in his eye. Okay, and then for his collar, I'm going to use some blue and some turquoise. So let's do this. We're going to use this Mediterranean blue and this light aqua just to start. And I want this part to be the light aqua, like he's got a gem on his chest. And this part in here to be the blue. And everything else is going to be in shades of gold. So to shade that, for the aqua, I've got this cobalt turquoise, which is PC105. And for the blue color, I have Peacock Blue 1027. And go back over this section. And back over the turquoise. Okay, now I'm going to take my gold gel pen. I'm going to give the cat a gold nose and a gold earring. And then all of this is just going to be sparkly gold. Actually, hold that thought. I need to put some blue in. I want a little bit of blue on the bottoms here. So just like that zigzag part in the center is sparkly gold. Okay. I might actually do, I'm going to grab the goldenrod color. And on this part in between the red, I'm going to go ahead and add in that color there. Yeah, and then I'm also going to do it here. That part needs to be blue. Okay, and then, yeah, and the lines across are all going to be sparkly gold. That works. And again, these pens are the Link Shine pens, which are really inexpensive and work really well. And the gold is not, it's not as bright of a yellow as the, like the Sparkle Pop pens, so that's always helpful. Okay, I am going to use one other thing on my eye. I have, actually, I'm going to use my Sparkle Pop. Where is it? So it's my Sparkle Pop Black, because when this has a red glitter in it, and I think that will look really cool. So once that dries, it's like a red color. Okay. All right, I don't know what these little thingies down here are. They could be gems. They could be just like chunks of building. Oh, I could color them brown because we didn't have any of that brown color down here. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be chunks of building. So I'm just going to use that light brown marker. Color that all in, and then what colors did we use to shade that? I can't remember. I think I used the bronze and dark brown, if I remember correctly. That's what it's going to be now. Okay, so I'm going to shade right here, right there, and then in the corners of this sky. And then again, where Kerby's given us lines. I'm going to use the bronze to blend that out. I'm going to add a little bit just up in the corner right here too. Okay. All right. Well, that was quick and easy. Okay. So now I am going to work on the main image. I think I'm going to zoom you guys out just a little bit and show you the colors that I've got picked for this. And then this will probably be a speed color, because once I do a few of the things, you'll kind of see what my plan is for the entire, so especially the main portion, like the head and stuff, that's all going to be a speed color. And then I will talk you through some of these other things. So let me zoom you back out a little bit. All right, so I've got, for my gold color, oh, let me show you the inspiration pictures again. So I'm basing my colors off of these two images. I don't want my gold to be as bright as this gold, but I also don't want it to be quite as dark as that gold. So it's going to be an in-between gold. So I've got, let me put these in some kind of color order. I've got dark brown, which is PC 946, bronze, which is PC 1028, yellow ochre, which is PC 942, and then canary yellow, which is PC 916. And that one will be used sparingly, because the more I use of that the more of this yellow gold color it will turn out to be. So I want it a little bit brighter than that bottom picture, but not a whole bunch. And then I have, of course, my little cream color. So I'm going to show you a couple of lines on here, and I think what I'm planning on doing is the areas that have the dark lines, that's going to be my gold, and then the areas that don't have the lines, that's going to be my blues. So I'm going to show you a couple of lines with the gold, and then I'm going to go off camera and finish that up. And then when I come back, we'll work on the face a little bit. It's the same kind of concept though, where I'm just going to start with this dark brown. I'm not pushing hard at all with this dark brown. A little bit of that one. A little bit of this bronze, which just kind of gets extended a little bit past where I stopped with my dark brown. Then we're going to use the yellow ochre. And that's going to get extended pretty far. It's going to almost touch. But you really want to reserve the highlight in this. And then just a little bit of yellow. Tiny, tiny bit right at the edge. And then again with the dark brown, just to darken up the shadows really well. Because when you color metal, it's all about the contrast. So when you leave that white highlight in the center, it really, really helps to create that contrast. Okay, so I'll do it again just so you can see. So we've got dark brown. And our bronze. Then the goldenrod. Nope, what is this? Yellow ochre, not goldenrod. Let me extend that a little bit more. add the canary yellow. A little bit of cream, and then again go back in and darken up the shadows with that dark brown. You could even, depending on how much contrast you want, you could even come back in with some black and really darken that up. I might actually do that just to show you guys. And you kind of want to keep that flicking, like almost a flicking motion. Yeah, I think I'm going to add the black in there. I like that high contrast. And it's just right at the edge. And you kind of flick the color into the other blend that you already have. Okay, so I am going to do, I need to show you the blues. Okay, so the blues are the same colors that we used for the ribbon a little bit, except I'm not going to base it with the marker. So I'm just going to go in with my colors. So I've got these colors here. So I've got the Peacock Blue 1027, Muted Turquoise 1088, Mediterranean Blue 1022, and the Pale Blue 1086. I'm going to start with the Peacock Blue and just do the same kind of thing where I start on the outside edges with this blue color. We're going to go to the Mediterranean Blue. I'm not sure if this is going to be quite dark enough. Then we'll do the Muted Turquoise. And then last, I'm going to use a little bit of that Pale Blue. And I am leaving a white highlight through the center just to keep that highlight consistent all the way through. So anywhere where there are no dark lines, you want to keep that highlight consistent even on the blue areas. I think I'm going to add in a little bit of the Indigo Blue, which is PC901. And that's just going to give me a nice dark, that's not as dark as I thought it would be. So we might have to use black on this one too. Let's see how that looks. Oh, wait, no, let's use our 90% Cool Gray. So when you use gray on blues, you want to try to stick with your cool grays. And then once you put that down, you can come back over top with your original darker color, and it will just tone that color down for you. Okay, so I like that. Let's do that again. So we're going to do, what did I say? I'm actually going to start with my 90% Cool Gray. So I'm just going to kind of flick it in, just like these lines are already drawn in here, but I'm just going to kind of flick that in with my 90% Cool Gray. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the Peacock Blue right over top of that. My Mediterranean Blue. The Muted Turquoise. And then this Pale Blue. Okay. And if you get a little too far in there, you can always come in with your white and knock that color back a little bit, because that will help you reserve that highlight as well. All right, so that is my plan. I'm going to add a little more of this Peacock Blue back in there just to cover up that gray. Okay, so that's my plan for this whole headdress, and then when I come back, I will have done that, and I think I'm going to use that same pattern on this crook. Yeah. I think. Yeah, same pattern on the crook. So I'm going to go off camera and do all of this in that same pattern that I just showed you, and the same way with my crook. And then when you see me back, we'll work on the next section. Okay, so this is almost done, but I wanted to show you guys that I did add a little bit in to that blue color palette. So I think right before I cut away, we had added, so these were the original colors. I'm going to put the white to this. No, the white was in there, so I'm going to keep the white. And then I had added that 90% cool gray in the shadows. And that worked well. However, I still wanted it a little bit darker. So I added in, I think this is in Danthrone Blue. So that's PC208, just along the edges. And then I also went over the whole thing with this 30% cool gray, which is PC1061. And that tones down the colors so that it's not as bright and in your face. So I'm going to show you, because I haven't done that on these two sections right here. These don't have any of the gray or the Danthrone Blue in them. And it's just these two tiny little sections here. I'm not even sure if you'll be able to tell the difference between the other sections, but I'm going to go ahead and add in the gray. And this is just right along that crook because there would be like a shadow right there. And then along the edge over here, since this is a rounded sort of, what are these? Caskets? Maybe, I think, because the mummies are inside. Okay, and then I'm going to take the Danthrone Blue right over the top of that. And you can see already how much darker that is. And then I'm going to take my Peacock Blue and lightly shade out into what I had already done. And then I'm going to take the 30% cool gray and just go over the whole thing. And this actually acts as a nice blender without changing the tone too much. It still reserves that little bit of a highlight there. It just adds a little bit. So I don't have the gray in this area either. So I'm going to do this along these sides. Ooh, pencil down. Okay, so then I'm using that in Danthrone Blue. And then back in with my Peacock Blue. And then we're going to blend it in with that 30% cool gray. And again, it's that 30% cool gray is in there just to tone down the colors just a little bit so that it's not quite so bright. I was going for a more muted blue, and these ones that I had pulled are a little bright. The other thing I'm going to do is, while I really love the gold, I do want to add in a little bit of this goldenrod because it's a more, it would go more with the background and the little smoke and stuff that we have coming out. So I'm just going to lightly go over all of these guys. I'm not going to come into the highlight really, but I'm just going to come over the edges, and that, again, it's going to tone that down just a little bit. So then when I go to do like the face of the, oh, is it called a sarcophagus? Is that what these are? I feel like that's the right word. Sorry, that just popped into my head. When I go to do the rest of the main image, I will add in this goldenrod as well with the other gold color mixture, just so that I have the right tone throughout on all of my gold. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to use that same technique and do this crook, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, so here we've got the finished crook and whatever that is, head covering. I am going to add in some shadows underneath the crook, and I'm going to use, do I want to use this one? I think I might use, where is my other color? I'm going to be using all the Prismacolors today. I'm going to use the 90% French Gray just right underneath the crook, especially on the gold parts. I might come back in with the, and it's probably not going to be as shadowed right in here, so you can make the shadow a little bit bigger underneath the crook. But then right along the top, you want to make a pretty thin line. Like, you still want it to stand out from the background, but it's not going to create as big of a shadow, according to where Kerby has put all of the other shadows. So you can also come in here with the black and really darken that up right along the edge. The French Gray is really just helpful to change the tone of the colors that are in the shadows, you know? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we've got the hood done. I'm gonna work on the face next. Now this is gonna be, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kind of talk you guys through it. I am going to be using both of these pictures as reference, so I will try to leave them on the page or on screen. Maybe I'll pop them up on the screen. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But I'm going to be using these for reference and adding in, I mean, he's got a lot of the shadows already drawn in, so you know where the darkest colors are going to go. And then so I'm going to do all of his face and down to his neck, and I'm going to stop right at where these lines start going across. So face and neck and possibly hand, because those three will all be very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to, we're going to start with our dark color, and where the shadows are on here, I'm going to just add in that color. Oh, that's actually part of the hood right there. Well, it's gold anyway, so that's okay. I didn't realize that. I didn't know what exactly that line was across his forehead, but I was going with it. It's just kind of going with the flow. Okay. And then we've got shadows. This is just like a face would normally be. And you don't want to push too hard with your dark colors. You want to lightly shade. We'll go in his ear. So I'm not going to do the whole face at regular speed, but I'm just going to show you a couple sections. Regular speed, and then I will do a little bit of a speed color process. So you can see kind of what I do, but you always have the option to slow it down as well. This page is a little surprising in how long it's taking. I always feel like that with my Kerby pages, though. Like, you're like, yeah, I could totally do this. Let's just sit down and color. And you're like 5 days later, oh my gosh, I'm never going to finish this page. my expectations for how fast I can get stuff done always exceed what I can actually accomplish. Sometimes I let that get me down too, and I really shouldn't, but you know, that's how some people's brains work. Okay. All right, I like that. Let's use our yellow ochre. I'm going to extend that one pretty far into that highlight area. And when I go over my browns and stuff, like the shadow areas, I'm pushing a little bit harder. And then when I move into the white space, I'm not pushing quite as hard. So I lighten up my pressure as I move into that white space. But again, not pushing super hard in the darker areas because I don't want to over burnish those sections before I can get more colors down. Now you can kind of see on that top picture, some of those shadows are not quite lined up with where Kerby has added his lines, but I think it's just going to be a little bit easier to follow the lines that he's provided, instead of trying to do like a photorealism kind of thing, which I am most definitely not proficient at, so I'm glad I'm going the easier route. I think I do want to kind of maintain a very light highlight here, which also does kind of go with that main image or that top image. So I want to be mindful of that. I want to keep that really light highlight right in that area. Okay. And then I'm going to grab this yellow. So this is canary yellow. And again, this is just a very light pressure. Hardly even at all touching the page. Okay, and then, oops, I changed my lighting. Hang on a second. Okay, and then my cream, that tiny little baby cream. I like to get the most use out of my pencils, so I'm really sorry if this is screwing with being able to see what I'm doing. I'm just going over top of what I've colored with the cream with a nice medium pressure and extending that out into those white areas. Okay, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to start in the dark area and shade outwards towards that light area. This cream acts as a nice blender to blend all those colors together. Well, smush all the colors together. That's what it is. It's a smusher. Okay, and I am going to extend, I think, for underneath the eyes. I'm going to make it a little bit darker, just in the corner here, and then use that yellow, and then probably come in with the I think that's what I'm going to do. Again, I'm going to add some of that bronze back in just because I don't want it super dark in that corner, but I do want it darker. So I'm going to do the same thing over here next to the ear. I'm going to go in with my yellow ochre, a little bit of that canary yellow, tiny little bit of the bronze, and then blend it out with my cream. Yep. Okay, So I will have this on a little bit of a speed color. I'm going to finish the face, the neck, and the hand, and I will see you guys again in a second. Okay, so we got that done. Again, I just used the same color combo that I did for all of that. And then once I was happy with the way that it looked, I went back and added some darker shadows with the black, blended that out a little bit with the dark brown, and did a very light layer over the top of it with the goldenrod to change the tone slightly. I think that it's looking pretty good. I like the way that it's looking. I might see if I can add just a little bit more. Let's see what happens if I add another light layer of this goldenrod, and I'm just going to extend that out into some of the white areas. Not too far. That canary yellow, it makes it really, really yellow, which is great if you want a shiny gold. I am not going for super shiny gold. I am going for metallic, just not super shiny gold. So this goldenrod color helps a little bit kind of tone that bright yellowy color down. Okay. I think that looks a little bit better. I'm going to blend all of this out, keep that highlight there. And then just add in this color here and there. You probably noticed as well, there was no shading right here on Kerby's, but I liked the shading on our reference picture, so I went ahead and added that in there. For the eyebrow here, I want to try something and see if I can actually get it to work. We're going to try to white out that line a little bit with just a regular white Prisma, and then I'm going to go over the top with the peacock blue and the indanthrone blue, and then possibly blend it out a little bit with the gray just so it's not too bright. So if this doesn't work, I have a paint pen on standby that will hopefully cover this all up. On the reference photo, these lines are a nice dark blue, and most of the reference photos I've found have that the same way. So I really did want to add this blue color in here. Oh yeah, that's working great. Okay, so I did the white. I'm using the peacock blue now. Okay, so that's nice and blue. It's a little brighter than I would like it to be, but I'm afraid if I go any darker than that 70, it's just not gonna be blue anymore. It'll be gray instead. And I really want that blue to show through. Okay. Yeah, let's do the snakes. So this snake is really just going to be the same gold combo that I've used before, but we can do this little blue area here. Okay, so I'm going to do the peacock blue. Again, following the Kerby's lines. Okay, and then we're going to come in with Mediterranean blue. And our muted turquoise. This is just going to go over the top of those two. And then I am going to blend that out with my 30%. Nope, that's 50. 30? 30% cool gray. Okay. Yeah, and then the rest of that will just be all the same gold color as this. So I think what I'm going to do is hop off screen real quick. I'm going to color in the snake. I'm also going to color in every line that goes across. So not these spaces in between. I need to stop using my finger. I'm going to point with something else. So these spaces right here, these lines that go across, these spaces in between are going to be different colors. So I'm going to leave those alone, and I'll show you those colors when I get back. But these are all going to be gold. And then I'm going to finish this gold around here, and then all the lines on the headdress part, we'll do this part down here a little bit later. So I'm going to color all those in with the same gold color combo that I've been using, and I will be right back with you. Okay, got the snakes done, got the little extra little lines done, and I'm just going to use my black to make sure that these snakes stand out just a little bit. I'm going to Make sure I fill in these shadows wherever those would be cast. And where these other snakes overlap. Okay. And then I did kind of go over their mouths a little bit with the black as well. And then I am going to use that fun black sparkly marker again that has a red glitter in it, just to do their eyes. Okay, and last but not least, I am going to use my gold pen and I'm going to draw in across this snake's body because that's what it appears to look like in the picture. I'm also going to use my gold pen to color his earring in. And then the last thing for my gold, well, not the last thing, but currently, I'm gonna use my gold pen to outline the broken bits of this sarcophagus. Like it's full of sparkly gold on the inside, maybe. A little bit right here. Oops. I feel like I'm gonna have to break this up into another part. So next time, we've got quite a bit done today. Next time we will finish this guy up for sure. We'll color this flail, we'll finish the body part, we'll do the little bugs and finish these couple flowers. Yeah, because it's taking a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but you know, that's how it goes. So again, please let me know if you're coloring along. I would love to see your work. Tag me on Instagram. You can send me an email. Any of those things will work. And yeah, I'd love to see. So I hope you enjoyed this today. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.